I would like to introduce to you Candido Grzybowski from Brazil, and I would like to ask him some questions concerning our workshop about development and the common good. The first question would be, what do you think are the main problems of development concerning your country, in your case concerning Brazil?
Brazil today, with the Workers' Party in power, is like reinventing the development of the 70s, when the military regime was ruling the country, and defining a project of a big nation. The difference is with social conditionalities. So the new development trend is the same projects defined at this time: nuclear power, big dams, all big transport schemes, and all this with some social conditionalities, not environmental conditionalities, like distributing more, creating jobs, and so on. This is the main picture.
Okay, thank you. When you think about the concept of common good, what do you think are the key elements of such a concept of common good?
For me, the idea of common, that is, nothing is common. People make it common. So, the common can be mainly in two big directions we can see. One, what we receive is a gift, all the natural conditions we live: water, the atmosphere, the air we breathe, fish, seeds, all this, forest, everything. In the other side, there are the common produced, like language, knowledge, culture in general, but also a city, for example, is a common. Really public health system for all is a common good. Also, we can say a system of school for everybody is a common. Democracy, in some ways, we can say is a common good. This is not clear in the consciousness of citizenship. Maybe in a country like your country, passing the past history, you see better this, but it's important to conserve democracy as a common base for everybody. So, religion is a common. So all this must be protected collectively. If we cannot divide. The commons is always something that we can share, but we cannot have different. If there are differences in access to the common, there are fundamental problem of inequality.
Okay. And if we are now thinking about the world society and the different global crises and challenges, do you think it makes sense to speak about a global common good? And if so, in what sense?
I don't like the word global, because it remembers me the globalization process of run or led by the big corporations in a homogeneous way, thinking the world is like a world to exploit, for exploitation and profit making. So I prefer words like world or planetary as better in this sense, because we are interlinked. The only good effect of globalization is make us create a consciousness of interdependency. But in the other side is the whole system we invented until now, because it's creating a lot, but for some people and against the other part. So one planetary common good is impossible. We must look for a lot of common goods, not one common goods. For example, the atmosphere is one of these. The only way of dealing is in a scale of planetary scale. We cannot deal the environment here. It's impossible. Water, yes, is different in some ways because water is distributed unequally in the planet. For example, Brazil has more responsibility on water than a country in Sahara, for example. They don't have water. So this common, we must preserve it for humanity. Biodiversity is another example of a common, planetary common, but also is distributed in a diverse form around the globe. Or minerals, as we discussed this morning, they are not distributed equally in the world, the planet. This is the ecological system work like that, bringing all this diversity in different systems and must work. But the responsibility is, let's say, with a planetary perspective, with different responsibilities on that.
Okay, thank you. When we are having a short look back to Brazil, what are the traditions or what are the cultural characteristics of development Brazil as culture and society could bring in the discourse about development on the global scale?
Maybe one of the aspects important, but I have not written about that, but we are a country that concentrates a lot of contradictions. But this is a positive way I'm looking today. We are a mixed country of different cultures, we've been produced with colonization, slavery, all this, and migration and so on. So we have a cosmos in our country because we are big. It's a huge territory, a huge population, not so big like in China, but with maybe a natural patrimony bigger and more responsibility we have on that. So this is something that Brazil can bring this. But recently, another thing is the culture of citizens' participation. Brazil is a vibrant country, invented the World Social Forum, is this idea of emerging citizenship in the planet, not only the country, the business, but also citizens. And this we can maybe share with others some learnings in our experience with Paulo Freire. This idea of knowledge is a thing that is sharing, that we understand, is not somebody know and another don't know. It's not like that. It's all people know something, and we must share together and produce a third knowledge, I say. So all this we can share, but in base of development, maybe the new experience, like the network agroecology as an example, the idea of that today emerge of territories as a common good, citizens are in territories. So one favela, for example, is a citizen territory, is a kind of city. Instead of removing a favela, we must improve the favela. Because they have things that we are saying is the best thing for a sustainable city. Next to work, no cars, lively life there, living together, sharing, caring together the children and so on. A lot of values in a favela that can be destroyed if we pass away.
Okay, thank you very much for your answers.